Hello everyone, and welcome to another Tamagotchi video. This time I'm going to be connecting and hopefully breeding my Tamagotchis here. If you want to see my unboxing, if you want to see my review, I've already done those. I'll link them in the description, so if you want to hear my thoughts about the Tamagotchi, or like just my first impressions, check out those videos as well. This one's just going to be connecting and breeding and just sort of showing what the process is. So first of all, I have gone through this in my review, which I'm recording this like literally a minute after doing my review video, but in terms of you watching this, it would have been uploaded a week ago. But the prongs are back. We haven't seen this since the Mesuochi, which is the Mesuchi and Osuchi Tamagotchis from the late 90s, sort of around the same time as the original Digimon, so we're back to prongs again. So we connect them, we kind of lock them in here, we kind of have to click them together, and then press B on one of the devices, and then just kind of wait for a while. It has to say connected while it's connecting, which kind of makes sense, which is why you lock them in. You literally dock and rock from the old Digimon ads that aired. You kind of have to connect them, leave them connected, and the one that presses B is the one where everything will take place on that screen. Now, I don't think you need to keep them connected at this time, but it's nice just in case. So you connect them, they go to a moon as you do, and then they hang out. Now, I've connected these two before, so they know each other. If you connect to them for the first time as adults, they might get into a fight and you might have to clean their wounds, but if they already know each other, they kind of jump around happily. And from memory, from my first generation, it takes about 5 or 6 times to get them to fall in love and for you to get the option to breed them. So as you can see, they go back to their respective planets. And then if you want to connect them again, you just go to Playdate again. And again, you press B on one of them, not on both. If you press B on both, it fails. And then it connects up again. I'm mainly leaving them connected for just ease of use, by the way. Again, I'm pretty sure you can just disconnect them after this connecting screen is done. No, I will not test what happens if you disconnect them because I just don't want to. But you can do that in your own time. So they go off to the moon again. And it's kind of cute seeing the little animations together. As you can see, since I've already bred them previously, technically I guess they're actually siblings, so that's questionable, I suppose, but you can see that this one's purple, even though it's usually green, and that's because they've introduced kind of the mixing functionality from the mix and the meets, but it's, oh, there they go, they're in love. But yeah, it's not as involved as the mix and meets, which could be something good, it could be something bad. I now get the option to breed, so you don't have to, but I will. That it confirms it. Make sure I get the right buttons. And then you get the usual animation of the fireworks. However, the animation, while pretty standard and cute, does feel like it's a little bit less than what we've seen in previous models. We don't see them getting married, we don't see all the other characters celebrating. It feels kind of just like, I don't know, you're dragging them around in like Adobe Flash or something, just having them like move around slightly and jiggle around. It feels kind of basic in terms of what we've seen before. And then we get them hanging out with the egg. Now, the previous generation, so the parent, will still remain on the screen on the slightly zoomed out view of the overworld, which I do like, and they do come back for the egg hunt. You can select them, so they are more involved than the previous generations were on previous iterations of Tamagotchi releases, so I do like that. But again, I mentioned more of that in my review itself. And you can kind of see the previous one kind of hanging out on the far corner there. And then the egg is just kind of rolling around the screen for a little bit. And the colour and the traits from the parents kind of go into whatever the baby is. Again, not as involved as the mix or on the meats, but it's still cute. And it's also a functionality that a lot of people have been asking for to return. I did like it in the mix and the meats, except when my character ended up being like a hideous monstrosity. Okay, I've got pretty much identical looking babies this time. And then the cycle continues, you feed them, you play with them, you wait for them to grow up, and then you marry them off again to their sibling, or not sibling depending on if you have another one or if you have a friend with one. So yeah, it's a cute little interaction. Again, I won't roast this too much because I already did in my review video, but I do feel like the animation for the mating and breeding just is a little bit lackluster compared to what we have. It just, again, looks like you're sliding around an image on a screen. Okay, it's full. And again, if you want to see my previous thoughts on this Tamagotchi, of course, check out my first impressions and unboxing. I go over like my thoughts just as I'm opening it up, and it's a lot of me trying to get used to the interface, and then my review video is still me getting used to the interface, because, spoiler alert, that's my main complaint about the Tamagotchi Paradise. So we can zoom in on the stomach, check out how it's going. Not too happy, I probably have to feed it more snacks or play with it. But yeah, so that is the process to breed. Again, we're back to prongs, which is, again, the first time I've done that for about almost 2 decades or so. So yeah, we're back to that, and now I have to raise my Tama to an adult again to get to the next planet level. But yeah, so maybe I'll change fields, and you can see the other generations there. Maybe I'll change fields so I get a different pool of Tamagotchi characters to get. And there's the previous generations just on that screen. You just see like them for like a split second. But yeah, so that is the connecting and breeding process on the Tamagotchi Paradise. Let me know your thoughts, comments, questions, etc., etc. in the comment section below. Like this video for prongs back, I guess. Get ready to dock and rock. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you have subscribed, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell the person that you're going to dock and rock with. And yeah, so I will see you in the next video. Bye!